Okay, the song stopped. We're gonna do it one more time.
Are you?
Deadly serious. I'm deathly serious. I'm so sorry, everyone. Real quick, here we go. Three. That's a false start. 3, 2, 1.
And now it's time to start the show with Bl'Artagnan, Raw Life, and some girl. This is the Lifestream.
Hello, hello. This is the live stream. Welcome everyone to the live stream number 40. Big, nice. Where's my game at? There it is. Live stream number 40 coming at you from our brand new earlier time frame, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all for joining us at the earlier hour. Blind Eye, how you doing, man? Talk to the people. Say hello.
Good evening, everyone. I'm doing good. Just had some barbecue, so, pretty full.
Classic Blind Eye.
Always barbecuing. Some Aggie, how you doing? How was your weekend?
Oh, it was pretty good. Mostly just hung out. I finished playing Stranger of Paradise. It's a very good game.
You
Should all
finished
play
it?
it. Yeah.
Before you finished Final Fantasy VIII?
Yeah. Well, I was playing it with a friend cooperatively, and we played it when our schedules aligned, which was this weekend.
Is Jack Garland your favorite DFO character now?
He's pretty good. I'm a pretty big Jack Garland fan.
Don't mind me. My game is completely frozen again. Thanks for shout out Squex for the maintenance. There is another voice you heard. Bl'Artagnan back again, full time, back to work. How you feeling, Blart?
Hello, hello. I'm feeling pretty good, Rod. Good to be back. Dealing with, father life. Had a doctor's appointment, and the little one got a bunch of vaccines, so she's been a little grumpy this evening. But it's good. She's strong. She's healthy. She's growing at a great clip. She's going to be bigger than any of us. I'd say within the next 6 months, she's probably going to be bigger than you, or me for that matter. And I'm looking forward to just my towering Goliath of a daughter. I'm so proud of her already.
I'm flexing on her right now. She ain't gonna be bigger than me. You better get her on some good milk, some real good milk.
She's on the good milk. You better believe she's on the good milk.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us an hour earlier. We got only 2 events this week. I feel like last week we had 2 events, but there was a lot of shit to talk about. This week we only had 2 events and 4 characters, right? Or 2 new characters.
Yep.
First thing that we got was the Alphinaw Heretics. Everyone's favorite kind of content. Heretics.
Oh yeah, Heretics.
Oh yeah,
Yay, heretics.
You guys don't like Heretics?
They felt so cool the very first time they came out before we realized how the synergy characters worked with them. They felt so cool that time.
Yeah, and now you just get to do the same fight on different difficulties. Instead of like 3 times, you could do it like 9.5 times.
Don't forget that the co-ops are also 3 waves.
Oh yeah, I think I finished that co-op shop though. So 3-way co-ops should be outlawed. Genuinely worst, just miserable waste of time. I hate it. Did we not just get another 3-wave?
No, this one isn't 3-way, but it feels like it is because you get below 50% real quick, and then suddenly they take like 6 animations in a row.
Yeah.
Classic. They should really just turn those off for co-op. Why do they still have we have to play all of the threshold animations in every co-op? It doesn't make sense.
They have to let you know. They have to let you know that the defense went up by 15%, and you're still going to be capping every brave hit. They have to let you know.
I don't get it.
That's eyes on the prize, though, right? We had Distorted Providence. Distorted Providence was Alphinaw.
Correct.
I gotta tell you, this name kept tripping me up because I kept forgetting whether it was Providence or Provenance, and so, I think for a while the different videos I posted for it, each one had a different name. It was like Distorted Providence, Distortion Providence, Distorted Provincial. I don't know what about it was about this name that tripped me up, but I could not get it right.
Yeah, me too. I can't tell why those words together are so hard to say. But we should go one by one, and everyone go around and say exactly who you used in every single fight. I think right. There's 9 fights, so 1 through. No, I'm just messing. Basically, you just take all the synergy characters and get to Lufania as fast as possible, right?
Yeah. I brought Kurasame, Kirin, and Waka.
I mean, I was gonna say I soloed the whole thing with Waka, but we'll go with that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you just kind of synergy. It's basically just like the challenge quest is enduring all the different like garbage fights with the same team of like synergy characters.
Yeah, but at the end of the Golden Rainbow, there is Lufania Plus, and it is a fight. It's a
Yeah, it's a fight.
Yeah, it's a fight
There's
Right?
that tries to shut down Jack because they're immune to fire damage.
And
well, they
lightning.
don't
Yeah, and lightning.
disrespect. Logic is right there in chat, and they're trying to do that.
Yeah, it's shutout content. You can't bring everybody you want because there's fire and lightning damage is
Yeah.
resisted. Some girl, what is the fight about? It sucks.
All right.
What
So
do you
let's
do?
fight 2 chimeras. Obviously, the most notable thing for most people about this fight is going to be the orb. This is another HP poison orb. There is no secondary condition. This orb is lethal. So you must inflict HP poison. The maximum count is 8, which makes it very hard to ignore the orb, but possible. But basically, any clear is going to have in some form one of the 3 characters in the game who have HP poison, which is obviously Alphinaw, who's being featured here, X-Death, or Ida. The thing this fight does not have is any health whatsoever. So many people found success in just popping an X-Death friend or something like that and just blowing the boss up very fast.
Yeah, they did not fix the health issue for this fight. Blart, who did you bring, man?
Well, I mean, I think the first thing I did with it was basically, like you said, I brought an X-Death friend and a Terra, and that was that. It really, there's very little in the way of like mechanical kind of impediments, things to stop you. They have like this mode they have this mode called Body of Steel, and it almost feels worse than not having anything, because what it does is they take 1 brave damage while they're in it. The idea being you have to HP poison / battery your way through it, Alphinaw. But it automatically it triggers at 80% and 30%?
20.
No, 20%, yeah, sorry. 80% and 20%. Little unusual threshold there, which is scary, except it goes away once you've dealt 5% of their HP to them, and it's really, really not hard to do. I've seen people using Scion calls. I've seen people just battery through it. Like with Terra, it's really not difficult to bring them both past that really quickly. They also start warping their turns a little bit after you bring them past 50%, which is actually kind of a good thing, because it helps you with the orb if you're using like an X-Death call, because they warp the turn, boom.
Maybe Ida as well, because I've heard reports that Ida isn't exactly ideal here, even though she fulfills it.
Yeah, because she high turn rates, which can make things a little tense if you're being a little careless. But the thing is, they have also, in addition to having no health, they have virtually no threat, because the Chimera, for those of you who haven't fought it before, it has 3 stances, and 1 stance has a brave attack that I think applies a defense down, and that's their only attack aside from the generic, like, oh, my brave's high, hit you with an HP attack. There's a stance, I don't know which one it is, that gives them a defense up. Very scary, very intimidating. We wouldn't be able to overcome this. And then I think the dragon, his attack is an AoE brave and HP attack, which is actually something that can hurt and kill you if it happens back to back and you don't have any like mitigation in your team. So technically they can kill you if, like, I don't know, you blow them to 50% with a purely squishy team and then they warp and blow you up. But so maybe they've gotten you. I think they got me at least once. But once you know it's there, it's like, okay, I bring like a Warrior of Light call or like a Freeze call or something, and that's the only threat they pose to you at any point during the fight outside of managing the orb.
Yeah, and I just wanted to mention the mechanic with the skin. Just completely useless mechanic, because it's worth mentioning if you send them into that on like a big damage turn. It only lasts. I don't know how to word it. It only lasts until the set threshold percentage that it ends at. So if it starts at, I don't know what they are. Is it 79 to 75 or 80 to 75?
Yeah.
So if you do a
75.
huge damage attack at 80, then they'll go into it and out of it immediately. It's my first casual run. I forget who I brought, but I never saw it, because every time when I hit one of those thresholds, I was pushing them through it.
Yeah, and so for reference, when you say a huge hit, these bosses have 14 million health each, so that means you have to do 700,000, which is like an amount that almost any character in the game can do who's been updated in the last couple months.
Pretty much, yeah.
Speaking of huge DPSs, I'm bringing Seymour. While we talk about the fight, talk about Alphinaw a little bit, I'm bringing Alphinaw, Laguna, and Seymour just so we can crush it and get to the next fight. But does anybody have Alphinaw other than me?
No.
I don't for some specific reasons.
Okay, I'll tell you guys about Alphinaw. So Alphinaw now, you don't press any of his buttons. He just does HP poison.
Well, I was gonna say I had him, but yeah, go ahead and cover.
No, Blind Eye. Blind Eye's gonna tell you all about Alphinaw. What did Alphinaw get?
All right, so he got a rework. I guess the big one for me using him would be that, well, I guess it's not really a rework, but his EX is extremely loaded and now has 4 dumps and it's instant turn rate. When it comes to his rework, his skill 1 is largely the same. His skill 2 is 3 dumps. Still heals the party. Brave gains the usual stuff. What he did get was an LD. His LD is 4 dumps, very similar to his EX, but unlike his EX, it's not instant turn rate. It gives him a buff that makes it so that your party cannot be broken. That is, wow. And he puts a debuff on the enemy that makes them take HP damage based off of Alphinaw's attack, basically an HP poison. With his EX upgrades, his Sick, and I think it's called Shining Obsidian, they both got 2 dumps. Shining Obsidian still gives free skill uses, and I believe Sick also recharges his EX gauge. He's overall pretty solid. I'd say the only problem I really see with him, like, using him, is that for some odd reason, his HP poison happens twice because it takes down on a single enemy rather than an AoE, and it's annoying. And then on top of that, he also has a brave poison, so there's like a lot of things flying around whenever anything is happening at this point.
It's kind of the like the 8 from Type 0 problem, which is the character is perfectly fine, but because of how his kit works and interacts with the way the game exists, he just makes fights take a whole lot longer. Like with Layla, we give Layla an exception in those cases because she's a busted character. 8 and Alfie, I wouldn't say are broken. They're just, they're good characters that do their jobs very well. They just also have a significant time cost on top of, whatever opportunity cost you may be giving up not using a BT unit if you want to get into that whole thing. Also, to clarify with Alfie's damage, it's interesting because nowadays I try to evaluate things now purely in terms of how many HP attacks do their attacks have, because I've noticed that there's a trend. It's just every character Squex kind of considers, I guess you call them a support, gets 3 HP attacks on all their skills, and then like 4, maybe 5 if they're feeling saucy on their EX or an LD. And Alfie falls into that. So outside of his HP poison, I'd say his damage isn't outstanding. It's competitive, but I don't think using him as your primary DPS. I'm not sure if I buy into that.
That's fair. Yeah, I can agree with that.
That said, he also provides a lot of party utility. The auras, like you said, he has a lot going on beyond just pure damage. I just want to clarify. I think back when in the EX Plus era, he was actually known as bringing some good solid damage for support. I think now he's bringing damage.
Yeah, I think the only real thing to highlight would be that the party cannot be broken. And I know whenever Odin gets a divine fight, I'm sure we all remember what was it, Chaos Odin when that came out, and then we're getting divine Odin pretty soon. I
Wasn't
mean, if he
Chaos
broke
Odin like?
you,
Wasn't Chaos Odin like completely broken and like the only way to kill it was with a gem revive if you didn't have Noctis or something like that?
yeah, there was some shenanigans with a gem revive and
Does
Noctis.
anybody remember
yeah.
that? Anybody in chat? What was the deal
I
with?
thought that was just a challenge quest.
Yeah, that was a challenge quest. Yeah, because back then we didn't have Lufenios, but I do know if he ever broke you, he just straight up killed you. And I'm pretty sure, like,
No.
whenever Divine Odin happens, that's probably going to be the case. So, yeah, he's going to be one of the few characters I can just prevent your party from being broken. And I actually do like that because I remember before, like, when he was EX Legend Alphinaw, like, if he ever got broken, like, you had, like, such a big downtime before his EX was back up. And the fact that now he just can't be broken and he extends that to the party is really cool, I feel like.
I have a quick question before tossing it to some girl because I feel like we've all talked about Alfie a bit. In chat, are there any Final Fantasy 14 people here losing their minds over the fact that like apparently the D is supposed to be silent or something? I've been told.
Alphinaw, yeah.
Okay.
I've been pronouncing it correctly. I know. I do play Final Fantasy 14.
So,
I
so
figured
it's called
you'd
like
be known.
Alphinaw.
It's Alphinaw.
Alphinaw.
French. It's a French name.
So he has the D, but it's
At what-
silent D.
At what point are they asking too much of the player? I mean, Jesus Christ, Sierra, Kieran,
Yeah, basic
Louis,
literacy, like,
Louis,
ugh.
Sierra, Alphinaw, like, come on, Titus, Zidane.
Think any further
Man.
down, and we're going
He's
into
Kain.
we're going into like Pokemon territory
Yeah,
where we
let
just
me
like
live.
randomly.
Let me live. That's
You know what I
Alphinaw.
can't wait for?
That's my boy Alphinaw.
I cannot wait for Alphinaw C90 and hearing Raw try to pronounce his puppets again.
I'm not gonna say the puppets again, ever again. That's it. Like I said, at what point are they asking too much of the player? I'm just trying to play the game, and there's all sorts of fucking, and then everybody gets mad at you when you say I'm wrong. I mean, I'm sorry. Let's get through this fight though. Alphinaw, and Ida and Xdeath are the only units that can hit the orb, right?
Correct.
So, Xdeath Call works fine, right? If you burn them down, Xdeath Call's fine. Ida
Yeah.
can put a sap on them and then also slow her own turns down. I saw Treevoid in chat made an interesting point. Should have made it so they only have HP damage from sap instead of letting you Brave Game past them. Some girl, do you think that would have fixed this fight, or is the fight's just unsalvageable?
I mean, they would need to, like, make them actually do something. Like, they have the turn warp at 50%, right? Which is really helpful for a lot of runs, because you need them to take turns for most HP poisons other than Alphinaw to go off. And the turn warp just feels helpful. Like, they don't do anything threatening on their turn at all. It's like, oh, thank God, they're turn warping. That's nice. It's helpful.
It only
And
you have to
seems-
take the orb, yeah.
That seems really messed up that we're, like, thankful that the bosses are turn warping on us because it makes our life easier.
Yeah, they pose no threat offensively, and for me, I think that the mechanic of the forcing you to Brave Gain is kind of a cool idea. They just completely fucked up the execution because you don't even have to Brave Game past it. Like we
You just skip the entire thing.
skip the whole thing. I thought that maybe if give them like one more extra HP damage attack maybe, and then also make it so the thresholds are 10% instead of 5%. Still wouldn't be
5% ridiculous.
5% is just insane because, like you said, 700,000 damage. Isn't that what you said? That's a 5%.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, 700,000 damage.
Yeah.
You just completely just skip the whole threshold. So
Yeah, my first run of this, I used a Charlotta in the party, and she does 1 million damage very easily. So I just saw, like, I think I saw one body of steel of the 4 between the two enemies.
I'm not paying attention to my game, and I just use an HP attack. Surely it won't matter. I mean, anybody else have any thoughts about this fight? Who you brought? If you thought you could salvage any fun out of this fight, Bl'Art, Blind Eye.
No, not really. I sort of went with the usual instant turn rate X that, so no comment.
I tried to see what fun I could have making just with an X-Death call as my only source of HP poison. It gave me something. It wasn't. I mean, it was basically the first half of the fight becomes a little bit tense because at some point you're relying on them getting a turn every 3 turns, but then you summon or you burst or you use your C90's EX or you look them funny or you breathe. Or you, I don't know, you call them a name and suddenly they're at 50%, they're warping, and the fight is over.
That was so many ones,
I'm so
Raw.
sorry. I'm so sorry, everybody who came to see Seymour. I told you I wasn't paying attention. We were talking, having a good old time. And then I look over and I'm like, oh yeah, Seymour is about to drop under 50%. We're about to drop a Seymour bomb, absolute nuke right here. Bang! Ones everywhere.
Your body of steel.
I underestimated this fight, guys.
You know what? I changed my opinion. This fight is tremendous.
Yeah. See how hard that is? They just completely wasted one of my 3 LDs. So, I mean, speak for yourself, guys.
Whatever will you do?
I don't know.
Get rid of the last
I don't know if we'll get out of I don't know if we're gonna get out of this pickle. This isn't like the petrified pickle. This one's I don't know, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like again, I think that's the big issue with this fight is regardless of the mechanics, the health just isn't there. Like if you bring a BT plus, like I did a run of Laguna, and they just die. Like I cleared the fight in 12 turns with Laguna, Ida, and Lilzet. It was very easy.
I do have one thing that I really want to complain about this fight. Everything else is fine, I guess, whatever. And now you can't see it because the camera had changed. When I was doing a challenge run for shout out Treevoid did a cool Abyss style lockout and took over for Eamon. Shout out Eamon as well.
Right.
There it goes. Look at the orb on the left Chimera.
Oh, you can't see it under the pause button.
It stays like that for like literally 2 minutes.
Yeah,
you need to HP attack here so that you can get that Seymour LD off and show the people what they've been waiting for.
Can I do anything to waste his turn without?
Just HP attack. It won't kill, probably.
Okay, here. Oh! Okay. So now we're going to get one good... Please don't kill him. All right, here we go.
The poison can kill.
Poison can't kill.
Yeah, no, it can't.
Here we go. Here's that blue Seymour.
You have to give the people what they want.
Look at it. Look at that. Casual 1.4 mil.
No.
Casual.
Thrown out there. That out.
No big deal. Yeah, this fight sucked. I hope that the people who didn't like the Kefka fight played this fight and were like, man, it really can be worse. It can be bad. We still are in garbage time. I ask this every week, but I really need someone to step in and answer finally because everyone keeps arguing and saying maybe. When is this over? When is garbage time over? When is proper garbage time done? No more garbage time. Maybe bad fights every now and then, but garbage time.
Next month.
Like when FR drops officially, it's just that's it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting until the fight difficulty says Shinryu. Until that point, I'm gonna look at it and kind of squint my eyes whenever a new fight comes out.
Yeah. We didn't talk about Waka. We do have a huge. I'll use Waka in a co-op while we get the biggest Waka fan in the world. Blind Eye, did you pull Waka? Or you already had Waka?
Well, I mean, what was the point of pulling when I already had him, Raw?
Did you blue him and C9 him and have so much fun?
I did blue him. I did C9.
Do you have an Ultima throwing weapon?
I do have an Ultima
Oh
throwing
my god,
weapon.
I thought
Sadly, not 5 out of 5.
You absolute maniac.
But Waka feels, oh my god, he feels so good.
I'll be the judge of that.
He's a good C90.
Yeah, he's a good T90. Normally with these characters, with rare exceptions, they normally just give them like extra dumps and they don't really give them that much. I mean, there are some things that do concern me with Waka, but for the most part, he got like a damage increase. He got an aura increase as well, and I'll get further into that. But for the most part, his base skills both do 3 dumps. His dark attack, which has 100%. I'm kidding. That thing is so crap. It's now AOE. So I guess you have a coin flip to dodge an attack.
No, 50% blind is 0% blind.
Pretty much, yeah. And then his ZX and his LD have 4 dumps. A status Rio's got a 10% HP damage taken up on it. So, I mean, I guess if someone wanted 10% extra HP damage taken with Waka's debuff, you know, they got that. The biggest concern I have with Waka is he gives a buff to the party with via his EX at a 60% chance that gives 20% HP damage up to the ally, and it's 60% to both. So it's not even like, oh, you use the EX and your party hits harder. It's no, you use the EX and you have a 60% chance to hit harder. I mean, outside of that, I mean, he feels pretty solid. He's a decent Brave battery. His debuff really can mess up the enemy, and he occasionally makes your party hit harder. No complaints there.
So he's all RNG. RNG kid.
He is still RNG, unfortunately.
Literally every button you press has an RNG component to it, doesn't it?
Oh, his skill 2 still has a 90% chance to, you know, apply his buffs, but, you know, it's still RNG.
He looks really solid on paper, and I feel like in practice he probably feels fine. it just wow, like unless you technically catch his EX as RNG, but everything else it's like wow, rolling the dice there. Although the other thing is like people always talk about the LD being RNG, and unless you're doing a really specific like setup run that requires the LD to work just so, all the things that it does are good. And now, like you said, it's free. It's HP damage up no matter what.
Yeah. And then before it had Brave damage taken up, but obviously who cares about Brave damage at this point? And it's just like you said, like every one of its debuffs are essentially good, right? It's like you freeze the enemy's Brave, they don't take a turn, or like half their stats just get neutered. Like that's crazy, all 3 of them.
And as people have liked to mention, I think that status reels is one of those crippling debuffs that the devs often forget to make bosses immune to. So
Yep.
they'll try to make a boss immune to like like the fight we just had. It's immune to debuffs that prevent action. I haven't actually I don't have Waka, so I haven't tested it, but this is the sort of case where they would probably just forget to status reels, and you can actually status reels them.
I forgot to test that. I was gonna test that out. Someone like approached me with it, but like we were in maintenance.
Yeah, the reason I bring it up is I believe there's a fairly, is it tier 10? There's an upcoming, it might be tier 9, I forget.
It's tier 10.
Yeah, tier 10, for instance, it's one of those cases where because of a dev oversight, they didn't want you to be able to stop the bosses from acting, but status reels isn't blocked. So if you feel like cheesing the fight, pulling an Agrius versus the stupid ghost sort of situation, Waka could help you out there maybe. So that's something. I mean, he's good, unique, definitely a unique experience playing him, I would say.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, his C90 brought him up damage-wise to where he needs to be, right? So he's still RNG, but he's for people like Blind Eye, you can reliably use him in your team again. The other event that we got was yesterday. The May Fair started. Fair with an E. Let's see. Already did it.
It's another case. I was like, when I was typing up the title for my video, I was like, is it with 1 E or 2 E? Was there an E or no? And I decided to say screw it. And I actually like eyes on the prize as far as if I appreciated that their pun didn't feel like a crappy cloudy with a chance of boom. What the hell was that, guys?
Oh, that was awful.
I still haven't recovered from that.
Or the cloudy with a chance of blah blah blahs. We got a new LD, and it was Freya. Final Fantasy IX supremacy just running rampant through the community right now. Easily the best lineup of characters. We'll get to the C90. We'll get to the C90 shortly. But
hold on, Raw. I just came in with the breaking news. Waka's LD debuff, the confusion does work on these bosses.
These guys?
Yep.
Well, good. You got a 30% chance to
To survive that recast.
Good luck.
I literally just threw the Aldi and they both got confused.
Debuffs that prevent action.
Waka cannot be stopped, except I
So-
think later they start catching on to it. But for the time being, Waka cannot be stopped.
This is a global first fight, right?
Oh yeah.
Debuffs that prevent action. It's right there. See, so Waka, when he's good when the devs fuck up their job, or they don't do their job, then you can use Waka. He can sneak through the code, I guess.
You know, and well, also he has a double benefit here because I don't know if you noticed, they're also immune to int brave down, so you can get the stat down status reels onto them to lower their int brave, because that eye brave can get pretty beefy.
Yeah,
if you're not careful.
they have a hell of a lot of eye brave. I don't know if you've noticed that, but like they'll come out of eye brave with like 20k brave, and they can just
Yeah, no,
one-shot
it's
you.
insane. I've definitely gotten smacked by them.
Yeah. So this is the global first fight. We weren't sure we were gonna get a fight, but we did, and it's the Katobo passes. So let's get into the fight, and let's also welcome our special guest this week, Indolent Lard. Chat, say hello to Indolent Lard. Indolent Lard, say hello to the chat.
Hello everyone. I finally came. I am just like Zidane got in early by surprise. I am also here as a guest by surprise as well.
Final Fantasy IX supremacy, baby. Indolent Lard can't be stopped. Zidane can't be stopped. How you doing,
FF9
man?
supremacy, but the only thing that will conquer FF9 supremacy is Waka supremacy.
Oh my God, we got another Waka.
Hell yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Truly can't be stopped.
I'm gonna run the co-op while we talk about. I'll run the fight while we talk about the fight. It's 2 targets. Katobo Blast.
Ones are called, I think, like Oroth Camilla. Or something
Oh,
like
that's right.
that.
Yes.
Aruth Camilla.
And just call them camels.
Yeah, the
Yeah, just call them goddamn camels.
Kadaj camels. Blart, do you want to talk about the fight? Just the generals. What's the orb?
Yeah,
Because it's
sure.
a lot of different stuff going on.
There's a lot going on here, and I am here for it. They've really been doing great work, making these global first fights where they just take a pre-existing fight, and spice it up creatively, and I've been loving it. So, I guess as always, we'll start with the orb. The orb is pretty interesting. The orb has 3 different components. Well, 4 if you count the countdown. It ticks down by 3 every player action, which is a lot. Especially since I think it caps out at like 15, 12 or 15. So it can count down really, really fast. It goes up +1 for every player healed by a player action. So not HP regen, but like if you use a skill and it heals, or if a trap or something goes off, it heals, or a counter or something like that. For every player healed by that, or every character healed by that, you go up by 1. So you can maintain the orb with like an AoE heal. Or just, -2 for like a 1-person heal, stuff like that. That is obviously to sell the fact that Freya, which we'll get to, has the capacity to heal your team every turn AoE. We'll talk about that when we talk about Freya. The other piece is it goes up by 15. So basically resets if you delete their turn, and that's 15 per target. So you'd have to, like, if you're a single target deleter, like for instance Zidane, he'll only reset the orb for the one he deleted. Or if you evade an attack, they both go up by 15. Which is interesting because their recast, you may recall, that Petrify Eye thing they do is guaranteed hit. So you actually, if you're doing the evasion thing, you either have to run true evasion, jumping into the sky like someone will be discussing in a little bit, or you need to do a mix of healing, evasion, maybe some turn deletion, depending on how you built your team, in order to get to those evasive turn things. It's fast because it's fast, and you can't just bring like a prompt or whoever and use that to dodge the whole fight, because the recast will blow you up. And as we mentioned, their eye brave is huge, which is, you never think like, oh, eye brave, that's the important stat, but they'll just kind of passively come at a break and swat you. And that's if they don't use one of their natural HP attacks. They have a lot of HP attacks, especially ones that start brave gain into HP, so a lot of danger from this fight. Let's see, is there anything else? Oh yes, the recast automatically charges at the usual percentages, 80, 50, 30. And they cleanse all debuffs, except gold frames, of course, at 50%, which is a lot better than the debut of these guys when they cleansed every 10%, and it was the worst thing ever.
They're also launch immune.
They're also launch, delay, and play immune, which is the launch immune is a funny one because Zidane. But the argument I was hearing people make in favor of that is to showcase his more unique aspect, e.g. turn deletion, over, making it, it's a launch fight. You could just bring Selfie or any old launcher, and that's the fight. And I mean, I think you still could have given them more health and made them launchable, and that way Zidane, it wouldn't feel like Zidane is being given to his own fight. I will say his burst, the healing from his burst effect doesn't tick up the orb, which I think is a huge missed opportunity to showcase him. But I also feel like I've talked for quite a while, so if someone else wants to jump in and talk about their experience with the fight and how they feel about it, I mean, I could share the teams I ran, but I think I'd rather hear from you guys first what you thought about the fight and your experience of it.
I think this fight's awesome.
Yeah,
You're awesome.
There's a lot of stuff going on. Zidane's obviously moved from Safer Sephiroth. In JP, if you're not familiar, he got his C90 on Safer Sephiroth, who is turn, delete, delay, immune, launch immune. He was just completely useless, essentially, in his C90 fight. I'm gonna throw it to Indolent Lard, our resident other Zidane guy. Indo, what do you think of the fight, and what did Zidane get? He's a C90, but he's a BT plus character. So, is the C90 any good?
So I'm going to go on a small tangent about just like you said earlier, about the fight. I think this fight, like other GL first events, is pretty nice. I would rather have these. I'm kind of thankful that the devs decide to throw in these GL first fights that decides to not make the garbage time very boring at all. So yeah, that's my short 2 cents about the fight. But it might not be as challenging as say Claudio Chance of Meteors, but hey, I'll take this fight over, say, Rem's IW or Queen's Lost Chapter shit.
Amen to that.
All that shit. So yeah, it's time to talk about why I'm here for, and it's all about gushing about the best Final Fantasy protagonist of all time, Zidane. So Zidane here,
Yes.
the best Tantalus, Tantalus's best actor and thief. He's finally returned to the spotlight despite a very short time of spotlight. It's still worth noting, and it's also in a very early fashion because if we're just like mentioned earlier, if we're gonna base it on the JP side of things, came in like a few weeks earlier than he's supposed to. His tuning pass is mostly about his EX. His EX no longer feels like ass anymore. It's easily his strongest button to press now. So not only you have to watch out for the LD overhead, but you'll more so prioritize building up his EX now. His additional ability or his C65 added like a self max brave damage cap up. I think yeah. I hate going through numbers. Numbers are hard. Numbers are hard. So
every character's gotten, it's either cap up or brave gain. So I think those are important buttons to press, but I don't think we need to talk about them anymore. It's like everyone.
Because Zidane has a very short, small few upgrades. So I want to add that. So why not?
I see.
Am I right?
Add
Why
some
not?
value,
So
Spice it up a little bit.
so for the LD, Solution 9 has, yay, one more dump. Hey, gotta love these HP damage dumps. But the LD extend adds to his buff of a place to call home. It's like more self bravery damage dealt up. Yeah, and yeah, just further self HP damage up shit as well. So yeah, now that I go over like every single, in addition to the more damage for Booster 8, the associated special bravery attack he got, where aka it's Mug, it's now finally 100% gravity effect. So it's always assured that you can extract that bravery. He can steal all amount of brave all he wants via gravity effect. Okay.
I feel like just that I feel like they heard people memeing on the fact that with his original BT Plus release, he couldn't re-break in early loop plus with his LD, and they were like, okay, well, we'll put a stop to that. Mug is an auto break now.
So yeah, that's all Zidane mostly got. So all I can say is, I mean, first and foremost, I'm glad that they moved up my boy from a early from a synergy fight where, just like mentioned earlier, most of his gimmicks were cut. But yeah, I'm finally glad that he's moved up from that sorry excuse of a showcase for Zidane to a GL first event where he's still cucked, but yeah, it's only the launch mechanic.
Well,
But
here's
yeah,
the thing. A lot of people are talking about how he's cooked in this fight and how this fight's not great for him. And like, I'm a Zidane fanboy. I understand that. I fucked up his BT phase, by the way, but so I
fake
understand.
fan. Look at this fake
People are
fan.
gonna say that I'm biased, but people are talking about how he only deletes one at a time, which is fine because he maxes out the orb. So if you're having a problem keeping the orb up with him as your only turn deleter, I mean, yes, you'll probably need other heals or a big burst phase or something to deal with the orb. But he solo handles the orb if you have like one other healer.
Yeah.
If plus 15, which is the max for
Mhm.
one turn delete. He turn deletes on everything. I mean, his transformed HP plus is going to turn delete. His LD, obviously, 4 uses is a turn delete. Anytime you break him when it's not a stolen turn, is a turn delete. So I don't really understand the general narrative of he's not good here. Compared to Saver Sephiroth, he's phenomenal here, and even not compared to
Oh
that,
hell yeah.
he still brings what you need to deal with the orb, in my opinion. But
But I do note as well that yeah, Zidane can uptick the orb, but since his deletes are mostly single target, he only upticks the orb of the target that he managed to turn delete. So yeah, do note of that as well.
yeah, it's something
Uh,
to take note of and to be aware of.
mhm.
The orb goes down
Yeah.
by 3 on everyone's turn, so everyone, unless you're healing on the move or whatever. But so the orb can get real low real fast, so you have to be careful of it. But having a character who can turn delete on pretty much any button at any moment is and completely take the orb back up to 15. I mean,
Yeah.
he's great here. I don't understand the whole he sucks here, but
Like your fan favorite Ahmed Italian.
I love him to tell you. But Zidane's the king of breaks. Some girl, haven't heard from you. Did you enjoy this fight? Who'd you bring? How'd it go?
I said before, this fight is great. I ran 9 Arciela and Rem. So
How the fuck
obviously
did
we
you
need
do
a
that?
spear. Well, so these bosses are immune to HP silence, which made it a little might seem a little odd to bring Arciela, but she does also nullify Brave Gains, which a lot of these guys have the Brave Gains into HP attack, and 9 keeps us safe from the Brave hits, so she could really keep us like very safe from what these guys do. And they all have group heals on some amount of buttons, and then I just killed them.
So you race the orb, essentially.
I mean, I had means of keeping the orb even on most of my turns.
Thank fuck for Freya's party-wide last stand. The other character that came with this fight is Freya, who got an LD. Freya is better Kain for now, and I won't go into that anymore. But she's better Kain right now. She heals,
Now
she batteries.
you have to provide an essay.
We're definitely going into that later.
Yeah, we're gonna go
Yeah,
very
hold on.
specifically into why she's better Kain.
She's not, though. We established this earlier in our
Yeah, no, we
discussion. Don't you
established
remember?
Just
there's some differences we'll get into, but let's talk about Freya before we start talking about the differences.
okay. Who wants to go
We
over
actually had an
Freya's
in-depth
LD?
discussion about this earlier, so
Very in depth.
We were doing some research and stuff.
I mean, I guess I can.
What did Freya
so-
LD?
So the Knight of Bermesia comes with a rework and an LD. Nobody really cares about the rework. Everybody cares about the LD. So we'll just go straight to the LD.
Fair.
The
Sure,
LD,
damage and orders. There you go.
the LD is a triple dump. Nothing fancy. It heals the party and batteries. But what's unique about the LD is it gives her an icon, which has a very weird name, bootiest way of the Dragoon.
Beauteous.
Yes. I love
It's
it.
beauteous.
Beautiful.
Beauteous way of the Dragoon. And it's, decent amount of party buffs. Attack, HP damage, brave gains, and even brave damage. So, all three of them in one package. But whenever it's at 3 stacks, she unlocks her brave attack, becomes Descending Dragon. And she goes up in the air. And after every field action, she does a brave and HP attack that heals the party and batteries everyone. And this thing is incredible. It is extremely good. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about Freya. She's a very good support unit. Pairs very well with turn hoggers, and yeah, we can discuss Freya's differences now.
Yeah, I mean she's super well-rounded, covers a lot of different bases and roles. I think it's one of those characters where like you can pick her up and she'll probably do you well, like do you fine if for the next few months, whatever. But you don't necessarily need to have. But the Kain comparison I think is interesting because on paper she looks like she's just better Kain right now, and I mean obviously C90, yes, she's going to look better than Kain stat wise and her skills and stuff, but bringing the party auras and the party last stand and the healing and the battery, you're like, wow, she's better than Kain in every way, except that Kain will later get a BT and an FR, and so Kain will need that BT and FR to differentiate himself and be better than Freya. And technically, you're actually not right about that, because we did some research, we dug into the numbers, and by we, I do specifically mean Some Girl and also mean a spell good from TCC. I just was sitting on the sidelines, watching and taking credit for things. But it turns out that since I'm the one talking about it, I get to take partial credit here.
Nice.
It's professionalism. Basically, the way that their moves work, Kain actually delays himself a lot more when he jumps into the air, so he will, in theory, remain in the air a lot longer. So if what you're looking from them is a pure just hang out in the sky and do that follow-up attack and be in the sky holding holding a call or like locking them for evasion or whatever it is you're trying to do with that strategy, technically Kain actually is probably better because he will have more air time. That said, he also does not currently, without the BT, bring party auras, party last stand, battery, healing, good on-turn damage. So it's not one-to-one, and technically speaking, LG Kain still has his use right now. Well, that's just something for you to think about. Thank you, Some Girl, for doing all the work there and letting me get to ramble about it.
Yeah, by all means.
God, I gotta say, love working with you again.
Yeah, but no, I just wanted to follow that. It is true that so Kain will typically delay himself by about like twice as far as his normal turn, whereas Freya is about 1.5 times the amount of her normal turn. So while she does charge her overhead faster, she doesn't stay in the air as long, which is a very important difference.
Yeah.
Excalibur wants to know, to the professors who did all this research, is that because Kain is relatively slower than Freya?
No, actually. It's actually just because the low turn rate on their jump attack is a different low turn rate.
The values are different there. They have
it is a lower turn rate attack.
It's one of those things where, like, we say in this game numbers don't really matter, and it doesn't. Practically speaking, it doesn't. Now that you know the practical effect of it, which is just, okay, Kain will delay himself more than Freya, you don't really need to know the nitty-gritty of the exact stats and how to manipulate them, because there isn't really a way to do that, barring like speed passes. I don't know. Let's not get into that, because that goes from beyond the realm of big brain and into the realm of what are you doing with your life.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, the fight, we kind of got off track when it comes to the fight, and it's almost dead because I'm fucking phenomenal, and it's not because I use a burst character and 2 synergy characters. It's because I'm good. But the fight is a little tricky. If you don't bring exactly the kind of the same thing I said about the Kefka fight that I liked, if you don't bring exactly units to answer the questions that the fight asks of you, you will die every time. -3 on player turn, no matter what the orb is. That's always good. That's always
That's brutal.
tough. It really makes you think about every time you click a button. 15 for a max and 3 every player turn. Obviously, 5 button clicks are without answering the mechanics. You're fucking dead. Them being dangerous on their turns, fucking cool. Lots of times
It's been a while.
we've been begging for that. The recast will fuck you up. Petrify also can just straight up kill you. Another reason Freya's great here, Party Last Stand, which saved me twice so far in this run. But I think this is a good fight. I think that they, once again, I don't think it's as good as some of the other Cloudy with a Chance or whatever global first fights, but once again, a global first fight proves that they listen to us and they take into account maybe not they listen to us, but they take into account that we're looking for more out of our fights, and they give us a little bit more. So I'm happy with this fight.
Yeah, I really like it.
I'm happy with it as well. Yeah.
It's one of those fights where especially because the orb has so many moving pieces to it, it feels like it really rewards creative thinking. Well, also like you said, you can bring the Zidane Freya like a fairly intended team and kind of clear your way through it and get through pretty easy. But if you want to play around with it and kind of sink your teeth into it, there are things like I found out that off-turn damage, things like Furion and Leon and Maria, that they take up the orb from their heal traps, and that I was like, that's really cool. And so I thought to myself, well, I saw some girl's team didn't have a chance to win the fight. I don't want to rip her off, but I really do like that 9 RCL thing, so I'll just use Furion instead of Rem, and I'll say it's an original team. And I did that, and Black Cloud was like, hey, you stole my team, and I was like, damn it, got me. So it turns out there's no such thing as an original thought anymore. They got me.
I'm claiming originality for that team.
Sorry, say again?
I'm claiming to be the original for that team because I posted it first.
That's fair. The timestamps will back you up there. The last piece of this fight that we completely forgot to mention is, I think, unless I'm forgetting that we did, is that they require that you bring a spear unit, which I'm also a big fan of.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, I'm liking them like forcing us to essentially just bring a weapon type.
It's another
My
layer.
one complaint about that is that I wanted to use Fang, but she's like completely useless here.
I tried using Fang, and then I'm just like, why isn't Days happening? And then I saw
they're immune to her debuff because they're immune to debuffs that prevent action.
Well, they're not immune to
tragic.
Waka's
They're not
debuff.
immune to Waka, yeah.
Jeez.
I really wish that instead. I know why they do the debuff that prevents action thing. Like I know why they make it so sweeping, but I really wish they didn't make it quite so sweeping. I feel like there's one or two characters. Fang comes to mind, like maybe an Edward, like characters where it's like, okay, like a big part of this character is that they have this lockdown mechanic, and maybe like some like RCL, Kefka, maybe Eldnarsh, they're a little too oppressive in how they use it. But like, come on, Fang's been on the bench for so long. We couldn't have thrown her a bone here. So
yeah, I just used her like a week ago, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, no, just like this is the sort of fight where like that kind of capability we would have been like, man, Fang, it's so awesome that Fang can be used in this difficult, challenging fight and get to finally shine to be helpful and awesome. And it's like, not so much.
But yeah, no, there were some pretty good spear options for here. Obviously, Freya being synergy is going to handle basically every mechanic this fight has. 9 is very good here. Liu is pretty good here as well because he does heal quite often. Beyond that, you're getting to some dicier spear options. Kain is still very good on the right team.
So I
theorized. Oh,
go ahead, Bart. No, go ahead.
Just that I theorized that Kamari could be a fun third slot. This just because the orb has evasion and he has true blind, but I also don't have the gumption to try to run that myself.
They also the recast is guaranteed hit.
Yeah, well that's why it's interesting. You'd have to have a way to survive the recast and then use Kamari to keep the orb up during the non-recast.
He also has HP damage mitigation, but it's not that high.
Yeah,
so I'd be very curious to see how a Kamari clear would look. I bet it could be done.
That could be something. That could be
I'm almost certain. Now that I've said that, I bet Goose is going to do it as soon as he hears me say that. If he hasn't already.
Yeah, he is.
Of course.
He is
XCal actually
Kamari
has
fan.
something that I think Somegi tried. He said, Xcal said, apparently Theodore Refined Sphere allows any character to uptick the orb by accounting.
That is not true. I tried it.
Not true. I tried it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first thing I tried. So
Oh yeah.
That would have been.
I
Can you
even
imagine
made
if they
a
looked
fuss
at-
about it. I'm like, damn, man, they even freaking shut down my man Theodore.
Trevoid mentioned something. I wanted to mention this. I watched my buddy Gabilon, his run for this fight. I thought was awesome. It was Liud, Enacro, and Rem, and it was awesome because it was just, Enna would use her turn delete EX, delete the turns, do 2 million damage. Liud would use his EX and recharge her EX, and then Rem would warp her, and it looked so cool, and it was cool to see Enacro being dope after kind of, when she showed up, everyone's like, okay, she's cool and stuff, and so, I don't know, it was cool to see that turn delete on her EX really coming up.
I want to try this fight with a cool team like Samegi used. I beat it a couple times with Synergy, obviously, only. But I need you guys to explain to me, like I'm 5. How do you deal with the orb if +2 is for healing? If you only bring healing characters, +2,
it's plus
-3.
1 per. No, it's +1 per character healed.
Wait.
So if you heal the full party, that's +3.
So if you heal the full party, it keeps the orb where it is, because it's
Yes.
-3 on your turn.
It ticks down by -3, for example. Like when you go, but Freya's spear shoots it back up to whatever it was since she healed everyone with it.
Did she heal herself? Because I was wondering if
I think she does heal.
I actually have
herself.
no idea. I did not pull for.
Oh, you're saying -2. Was with Freya? Were you finding that her spear was only ticking the orb up by 2?
Maybe it's -2. Yeah.
Because I could see that being the case, because I think it says in the description of the skill, when she's up in the sky, can't receive brave or healing or buffs or anything. So I wouldn't be surprised if she only does, -2's the orb, if you're not doing like a full. I don't know. No, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I would have pulled Freya and tested this out myself, but I gave pulling on banners up for Lent.
Oh.
Isn't
Yeah,
Lent
that's-
over?
Shut up, Raw.
I'm not a big church guy, but I think that you can pull again, buddy. I think that's. Wait, is that? Am I wrong? I don't want to.
I just
long over. Yes.
no. I just didn't feel like going for the. Honestly, I can. Like I probably should just do it.
You're hoarding, is what you're saying. You're
They're
hoarding.
hoarding, aren't they?
That's hoarding.
This is the problem. See, this is why it's important. I get back to the grind and start doing this. I could have done the research and let you know. I couldn't have done that. I had a lot to do today. But you see what I'm saying? All right. Okay. Well, loyal viewers of the DFFOO YouTube channel, subscribe to Bl'Art on YouTube. You can expect a lovely, relaxing, and exceptionally serene Freya ASMR pull video for all your spiritual harmony needs in the coming days.
Yes. No hoarding. Theologica said the healing misses Freya while she's up there, so we only get +2 for the grounded allies. All right, let's try to do some shit. I'm not gonna let you guys pick my team because you'll fuck me and make me pick a shitty team. But if
Bring Guy.
Guy can heal. I don't want to do that right now. Maybe I will. I don't know. I need to talk to some girl. Hold on, some girl.
Yeah. What's up?
So the orb appears at 80%.
Correct.
And it doesn't go away. It's -3 every action, but it's +1 for every character that is healed by anything.
By
an
your
ability.
actions.
Yeah.
By your
That includes
actions.
off turns like Furion or Maria.
Okay,
Because
so
their traps kill the party.
okay, so let's do something. Let's just do something crazy here. Let's just get
Oh
fucking.
god, I knew it.
Let's just get fucking crazy and out of control. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? We die on stream, so what? I'm the best goddamn player in the world. I die all the time.
Don't forget to bring a spear unit as well.
Oh, fuck. No, I'm not going to.
What?
Bring Mog.
I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to do what I want to do. This game doesn't tell me how to enjoy myself. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this right here. What's wrong? What's wrong with this?
I mean, well, technically, you would clear the fight. You just wouldn't perfect the fight, and
Correct.
so you wouldn't get all the rewards. And
I've already beat the
everyone would
fight.
scrub.
No spear. I don't need a spear. The game doesn't dictate to me my fun. Let's do this.
You
Let's do
won't.
this. Wait, this team
You
can
won't
do
be
it. Right?
able to check all
What?
checkboxes. You won't be able to complete all the.
I already
the
did all the
checkboxes.
boxes. Need one spear for
Nice.
full complete. I don't give a fuck. All right, I'm doing this anyway. Fuck it. I'm trying to think. That's enough safety, right? They're not gonna kill me with the recast, are they? Does the recast petrify you if it hits you or if it breaks you?
I believe the way the recast works is if they're either unbroken or haven't been broken. I'm not sure. I want to say if they're unbroken when the recast goes off,
Yeah.
then they
Yeah.
petrify you, because they petrified me during my run, and the way that worked is, just they came at a break at the wrong time, and Furion suddenly was turned to stone, and that was just some
Well, Maria
reality I had to live
completely removes that danger. So
with. Oh yeah,
Maria totally
yeah.
removes
oh yeah,
that
that's
danger.
true.
Okay, I'm just gonna bring
What a
straight up
comparison.
damage calls because do they do the Kadaj thing where they cleanse every 10%?
They cleanse it.
No. But yeah, they cleanse, but they don't do the.
They do it at 50,
the
which is something we covered. We put it to
Yeah.
democracy raw. The people overwhelmingly feel you do need a spear, though.
People say I have to use a sphere. Whatever. Fuck it. All right.
Overwhelmingly, it is about a 4-0 in favor of that spear.
Who even has a spear?
100%.
All right, Freya. We already did with Freya. Oh, 9. Easy.
Yeah, 9's great here.
Oh yeah.
Wait, he has to. I need him to heal on. He heals on.
He heals on EX and Whirling Lance, which is skill
Skill
2.
2.
But he doesn't
Yeah,
heal
which
on.
number it
He doesn't
is.
heal on Primal Roar.
Or his
That's
LD.
where your traps come in.
Oh, if Theodore's sphere, uptick the orb, Sid would have been an interesting pick here because he does have a
Yeah.
C slot.
I remember testing out and it doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't
Like
work.
the
I know,
smith.
it's
I
tragic.
tested it out too. Fun fact, I brought Waka for that reason because he has a C slot and it wasn't taking up the orb.
Sid only heal. Doesn't Sid have a little bit of healing somewhere in his kit, like his HP plus or something healed?
Yeah, he does.
So that would have been so cool if, I don't know, his skill 1 healed or something.
I do need one more thing before I embark on this adventure. No one answered my question. Do they heal? Do they cleanse at 50% and that's it? They only cleanse one time?
That's their only cleanse.
Yes.
If
This
you
is not-
listen back to the VOD, if you watch this episode, like 30 minutes ago or so, we do mention that they cleanse at 50%.
Well, I didn't
This
know
is
if they
not-
only. You guys are not supporting me when I need you to, and if I
Yeah.
fail this fight, it's because of you guys. I want that to
I'm
be
here
clear.
to support you because it's FF9 time. This is the FF9 banner, FF9 event. So I'm here to support you.
Thank
And
you.
this isn't like
Actually,
Kadaj event.
The Kadash event, those guys cleansing every 10% was rough. They were tanky as
Yeah.
fuck.
I enjoyed that fight a lot. I thought it was a really
I
fun
thought it
fight to have
yeah.
to deal with.
I actually ran an FF9 team. It was fun.
Let me guess, the third is Garnet.
Yeah.
I'm a genius, phenomenal player. I think a pocket Amy call is automatic orb plus 15, right? To both? To both?
Yes, it is.
Got the graphics out on Reddit if you want to have a look. Shout out Excalibur. If you want to post them in here, that'd be great. Excalibur's got some graphics for the fight and every fight to give you a little pocket breakdown of what's going on. Okay, so
I will say, if you guys are watching us here on Twitch and you're not subscribed to Excalibur on YouTube, do yourself a favor and look him up. Just notice how his name is spelled because it's a little bit weird, but look him up on YouTube, get the spelling right, and subscribe to that man because that's some choice content right there, both in terms of the videos and in terms of the infographics for the fights.
shout out Excalibur. I have a
Yeah,
5 of 5
Excalibur is really
ultimate
awesome.
weapon. Is it on Furion? Does anyone know?
I feel like the
don't know.
person best equipped to answer that was you like 30 seconds ago.
Do an action on Furion, and I guess we'll find out.
How will we know? How are you so
But
good
his
at
Numbers will be really big.
His caps.
Okay. I think it's on him.
So-
Who else would it be on? No, it's definitely not on. I put it on Dawn.
So
Don uses a sword.
Yeah, dude. Virion had burst equipped. Oopsies.
Okay, that is definitely not an optimal weapon damage.
ouch.
Fuck it. We don't need ultimate weapon.
All right, I should probably hold on.
We don't need ultimate weapon, do we? No, we don't. Let's just do this shit. This is how you get to my level of skill in this game by just doing shit until you die. And then when you die, you remember, you're like, oh, I did this and I died this way. Let's do it different next time. Where's my camera at? That's how you get like me. Death. Many deaths. They're not even breaking these motherfuckers. I gotta put that ultimate weapon on. Jesus. Well, they're already at 90.
Did you not put up White Knight?
No, I didn't, and I also didn't put. Well,
So you don't have any of.
Well, here's the thing. We just ate those with no White Knight up. Wait,
It's true.
yeah, we did. We ate those with no White
There
Knight.
we go. Oh, it feels good to poach a prediction again. It's been a long time since I've gotten to do that.
Well, that's not fair. I don't have an ultimate weapon. I could have used my ultimate weapon.
You should have.
Yeah, you probably should have.
I need
honestly.
man.
I'm not gonna do White Knight until the next recast. I've got 4 saved now, right?
So here's something I want to ask you guys about your opinion. Something I've been doing with certain characters, like Nine, who get a free skill at the start of the turn, or Lena. When circumstances permit, I like this to actually open with the free skill on their AA to get a free extra few turns of heaven at raised cap early in the fight. What do you guys think about that?
Depends
do
on the
that too.
character. So
do that too.
I would not with Lena because she gets 2 free turns at the start.
Yeah. Debuff
And if you use
evasion.
an AA on the first one, you don't get the second free turn.
Yeah, that is true. I just wonder
Versus
if
9, who gets only one, who only doesn't get the second turn. So you use his AA because why wouldn't you? 'Cause you
Yeah,
don't
there
get
you
the turn. That's kind of been my.
Yeah, with Lena, I've been balancing it based on whether, like, I value the 10% brave gain up that she gives more than the 1 turn extra of her having a turn.
I guess it's like character specific, but yeah, like for 9, I generally open up with his AA as well.
I like his
I was-
AA because it does damage.
Yeah, it's good like that.
I
was definitely finding that. Oh,
I hate pressing buttons that don't do damage. You know what I mean? I don't care what it is. I just want to do damage all the time.
I hear you.
Why I click button? Why waste time say mini word when few word do trick? You feel me?
That's the spirit. That's
why
exactly.
why waste time press mini button when few button do trick? That's my entire
Life philosophy.
life philosophy, and in this game it translates well. If a button you can press don't do damage, don't press that button. Press a
Son
different
of a bitch.
press a different button.
Black
I look forward
Cloud is
to
in
your.
in the chat accusing us of copyright infringement. Raw.
What I
He's got the
say?
NFT. He's got the NFT for this team.
Who does?
Black Nero on YouTube.
Oh shit! Shout out Black Cloud, Black Nero on YouTube. He already ran his team. Did you use Ultimate Weapon? Because I forgot to put my Ultimate Weapon on, so I don't know if I'm gonna win or not.
No. He also doesn't have ultimate weapon.
What
in
up,
his spirit.
DC?
Oh yeah, I also have I also have a 9. I have a spear. Oh, he did. He said he's lying. God damn it. I could have had 2 Ultimate Weapons. This will be the greatest achievement of raw life history if I pull this off.
What, having 2 ultimate weapons?
No, doing this without the Ultimate Weapons. Is the prediction over? Because this is bullshit.
No, they still got a little ways to go.
Okay. All right. I need to focus now. You guys guide me through. You don't guide me through this, but I need to focus because it's personal now, and they're about to get their orbs. I'm gonna do this.
So I kind of, the more I think about the fight, the more I like how it features the featured characters, because I look at it and I know, like we were talking about how with Zidane, being launch immune and his BT not taking up the orbit's kind of bullshit. I don't mind it entirely. The more I think about it, first of all, he's the secondary character, and usually, traditionally, the primary feature character is the one who's supposed to really kind of break the fight open, and the secondary is like supposed to help a bit. So I don't mind that. And something, the launch community does kind of showcase how much more damage his EX deals on its own now, because it is a good button to press now.
Oh hell
yeah.
yeah!
He was
Dom?
doing 900k EX no launch. 900k
Exactly.
easy. I mean, he's in synergy and whatnot, but
Yeah. I mean, it's
I
EX is
do.
good.
I mean, personally, I also like the fact that it also party battery. So whenever it actually launches, your party has the brave to dump it.
Yeah,
It's
that
something I've been
felt so
missing.
bad when it didn't do that.
I can finally do it. I've been wanting that shit since his EX Plus, where he can charge up the other allies based on his max break.
wait. Hold the fuck up. Maria's not counters. Maria's off turns increase the orb on the enemy's turns by 3 because it's healing all 3 people.
Yes, yes.
Oh, this is free. Where's my camera? This is fucking free. There's absolutely no way I lose this. This is there's not a there's no way.
All right, he's calling his shot.
I'm calling my shot
then
right
See how it
now.
goes.
Everyone who just bet points, you're a fucking clown. You're a clown because this is free. Combined with my skill level, this team is free. You're stupid. I'm not gonna speak for the next hour because our next 30 minutes. I'm about to just smoke this whole fight.
I mean, the poll actually was pretty much neck and neck, so this is going to be exciting to see play out.
Let's do some math on their turns. Furion is gonna do +3, and Maria's gonna do +3. Right? They stack on top of each other.
Do they? Oh,
They
nice.
should. It should be plus.
Yeah, they're separate actions. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
feel
cool.
like on their. Well, let's just do it. I think on their turns, I'm gonna be doubling up. I'm gonna use a white knight here though.
Pretty much VO. VO in the chat asked if it's the same as Kadaj's LC fight.
Not the exact same. Sine wave. They don't.
Well, the orb is different.
Well, they also don't cleanse
Yeah,
every
the orb.
10%.
No, that was just the
No,
event.
that was the
Lost
event.
Chapter. They behaved the same way the Lost Chapter guy version did. It's kind of funny because that fight was intended to showcase Maria, and she's really good here as well. I don't think it was intentional, but it's kind of funny that it worked out that way.
Well, technically speaking, when I ran, the rerun, I ran the other character they were selling when Kadaj's LC came out initially, Bl'Art.
Was that Maria?
It was Jacked, who was the featured Synergy BT character.
Was there a Jack cycle? Oh,
Yep,
Yeah,
it was.
during
So
Jack
long
cycle.
ago.
It was in Jack Cycle.
And he still feels great to use.
Absolutely
He
no
better be
bias
with
behind
Waka.
the statement.
You
Chat.
better be with Waka.
Chat, we're free. We're clear. We're clear. We're good.
Man.
Yeah, you're lucky, Blind Eye. Jekt was synergy on that, and now Zidane synergy on that. The 2 best BT characters.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Jekt. Shout out Jekt fans everywhere, especially Blind Eye.
Jack Garland is the best BT character.
How long till we get him? 6 months? 8 months? How far behind are we?
Wait, does he? I
8
think it
months.
comes out in November? Maybe October or November.
If the game lasts.
No.
If the game
What?
survives that long.
I'm guesstimating November, but I have no real basis beyond just kind of very vague conception of the timeline for JP.
That sounds incorrect to me.
Damn.
So, I think Jack Garland is estimated on late December. Shout out to Footip.
Yes.
He's late December.
Oh.
Late December. Late December. Yeah.
Yo, breaking news. Cross 13. My best friend and my biggest hater. My best friend and my biggest hater. Fucking birthday boy is taking my side now. He's behind me and he's
Whoa,
he's
what's
trusting me
happening?
100% easy. This is
Whoa.
free. This is free now. I'm telling y'all.
Man.
With Cross behind me, who can be against me?
Whoa.
Do you want
Impossible.
the full list of people or like?
Yeah, actually, that's good. What go ahead. Let's do that while it still looks like something could happen, because nothing's gonna happen. Go ahead, run through the list. Who just threw away a bunch of points? Y'all probably didn't know when you bet you were gonna get called out, but guess what?
I don't know. I don't know how to check.
Blark?
I can. Let me see.
I do know how to check. I'm just not going to. I would like to clarify that.
Okay.
I see. Okay.
Don't tell him.
No,
All right.
you
No, I'm
fucking
looking.
tell me.
This is.
You tell me. You tell me who didn't believe in me, because I'm gonna rub their faces in it individually.
All I'm going to tell you is Tree Void believes in you.
Oh, Tree Void. Shout out Tree Void.
Yeah, sure.
Is
Thank
it
you for
possible
the-
this team tree voided chat says? Well, you'd be surprised. I've learned that it's possible to lose with many teams watching this stream.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
it's raw, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me. But I need to focus. You all are being very rude. I think this team is so safe. I'm gonna set up a burst phase like really specifically around how I want to do it, because I'm that confident. I'm gonna get up all my AAs, eat in the orb a little bit, right? Because on his in his burst phase, I'm gonna get the orb back to 15 by healing on everything. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Raw Life should run. Raw Life should run Zell again. It was the first time I ever used the character, and it's very hard. It's hard if you don't know. If you read a book when you were 2 and you didn't know how to read, did you just open the book and say, "Oh, the quick brown fox jumped over lazy dog"? No, you have to learn things.
That's how you. What did you? How did you learn?
I knew how to read when I was born. They did an article about me in the newspaper. That's a true story. Yeah, I was born being able to read. Google it.
Huh.
What
should I search for on Google to find it?
Boss Baby? They made a movie about me. It's a movie. It's a cartoon movie. Oh, fuck!
I'm sorry. I looked away for 1 second to get my wife a drink, and what happened there? I'm sorry. What? Wait, what? Tree Void just lose a whole bushel of money?
I can't.
Oh my.
Oh no, I can't.
You were wondering if it was
can't.
possible to lose with this team. I hope you know the answer now.
I stepped away. What? Okay, guys, break this down. Let's go. ESPN Sports Center on me. I need you guys to panel up and tell me what happened, what Raw did wrong here.
Do you want a lot? I don't know.
That's why I'm bringing in the panel of experts. You three, I need you to break this down for me. X's and O's and the arrows on the screen acceptable if you can figure out how to do that.
They have a pretty hefty brave regen.
Yeah, it looks
So
like
they
he
can just
didn't-
gain a lot of brave and then kill you.
And he doesn't have a white knight.
He also didn't dispel the brave region.
Yeah, that is the thing.
And, rough break right there,
None of
Raw.
those are answers. None of those are answers. Specifically, what did I do? What button? How? What the fuck happened? I wasn't even looking, and I looked up, and it had all this. What happened?
Well, Raw, these guys, as we've been mentioned a few times, they have a bunch of Brave and HP attacks combined with a very high natural eye Brave. They also regen their Brave at end of turn and gain a Brave regen buff.
But isn't Maria supposed to hit them before they attack?
You may have
That only matters if they've come out of break, if they've actually reached their eye brave.
Yeah, the way Maria's trap works, it's the timing of when the trap takes effect. Some of the regen things happen after her trap occurs, and so there's nothing she can do about that. So I mean, I will say shoutouts to Sinewave in the chat. I believe he was the one who pointed out that Maria would not be sufficient to protect you from these guys without additional mitigation.
I brought
Something.
9. I brought 9. How much
You also
mitigation do I
brought-
need?
You also brought Lee on this fight, if I remember correctly.
The thing with 9 is he's really good against Brave damage and
Mm.
more
Yes.
limited against Brave gain based offense because he only has his 4 uses of his LD to protect you from just them gaining a bunch of Brave. This is why in the run that I definitely did not steal from my co-host or from Black Cloud, I used RCL to turn off their Brave gains.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, this team, I just should... What? I mean, what? What should I do? Have White Knight active at all times? He only has 4 uses, and it goes away after they tank one hit.
I mean, you could maybe change up your calls, something more defensive that they could have done. That might have been the way to go with this team. I'm not sure exactly.
Okay, Stephen A. Smith, fucking armchair quarterback. Thanks a lot. You could have told me that 10 minutes ago before I shat the bed.
Yeah, but that would have been way less funny. So, like, you know.
Correct me if I'm wrong. There was a quote. I can't have the exact quote, but it was something that they're not letting you idiots pick out. Betray me by making me pick a bad team or something. I'm not listening to you guys.
Yeah, this team is good. Everybody's saying a Brave gain negate call. Yeah, that's fine for one of their turns. The whole team is built around letting them get a bunch of turns. Hey, this is a good fight, though. I mean, it's been hard for me. For me, when I'm
The greatest player of
to
all
die.
time. Yeah.
It's been hard for me to die. So this is a fucking good fight. It's dangerous.
Yeah, I like it.
It's risky. It's my thing. This is my thing. The questions being asked.